Let's talk through bidding at Japanese auto auctions. Japanese car auctions are one of the most transparent buying processes I've been through. If you've walked into a dealership looking for a used car or a new car, you know how sketchy that process can be. However, auction houses in Japan have implemented a grading system. The only part of this that's not completely transparent is that the grader themselves are subjective. They're human. They may make mistakes or think a certain thing is a certain amount of important, and they do have measurements for these things, right? But I think we've all seen maybe a grade 4 come through that was about as good as a grade 3 they had seen before. So it's one thing to keep in mind. You need to really read the auction sheet, consider what's happening, and make the right choice for the car for you and what you're willing to accept for the money that you're going to spend. At this point, you should have picked an exporter. I use Japan Car Direct. They were wonderful. I have a whole separate video on this. They were great to work with, but you can't just walk into an auction house in Japan and bid by yourself. There are certain credentials you need. You need to be registered as an agent. So really think of your exporter having multiple roles. They're gonna be your agent to go in and bid for you. Usually you set a max bid. There's a fee or a minimum associated with that you have to send to the individual bidding for you, and then you are able to start placing bids on several cars at that price. So your exporter in this stage is going to be working as your agent, looking at cars with you, and setting a max price that you're able to bid on them. Reading an auction sheet is key in being able to bid on a car. Let's go through the guide and step through what an auction sheet looks like and what the different areas mean and how to read them. You'll see there are a handful of major auction houses available that you're going to be able to bid from. Usually they will go through one web UI that your agent will use and walk through with you. And here's our section for understanding auction grades. So there's different grade levels from S or 6 all the way through RA, so repaired with accident, all the way up to showroom or new condition. Typically the highest grade you see, you're buying used, is a 5. One important thing to note here, an R car is that there is an insurance claim declared, but it is not a repaired title or a salvage title like we have in the United States. It is just declaring that this car has had an insurance claim. And RA typically means repaired with residual issues. There are additional issues after the repair, even though a repair has been made. These are ones you're probably going to want to stay away from. The bidding mechanics are usually pretty simple. You'll set a max bid and your agent will take a certain percent. For me, it was about 8% of that total and require that as your initial deposit. If you win, that 8% just rolls right up against what you need to pay. If you lose, they hold that and they use it again on the next auction that you think you would like to do. One thing to note about this stage is that you can pay about 4,000 yen, which depending on the exchange is about $50 when I did it, to have a photographer come out and actually take extra photos of the car. They can do 6 photos for that. You're usually not able to stack these. You can't do, say, 24 pictures or some amount of 6 pictures. But you can have somebody come out and take an additional look at the car and do additional coverage. They won't be able to do things like get under the car, take pictures underneath, or start the car, but they will be able to get more coverage than what the auction house has given you. And if you've placed your bid and won, congratulations, it's a great feeling. It does get a little intense at this point. You usually have 24 to 48 hours to wire over the entire amount of money to your agent. To me, this felt a little bit scary. I hadn't known anybody who had done this before. I hadn't seen a guide to be able to do it. So I just sent my money out into the ether, but it worked out great. Again, Japan Car Direct as an exporter was fantastic. And finding Japan Car Direct is one of those reasons why doing that initial planning is so important. Figuring out who you're gonna work with is so important. And keep in mind, this is why picking that exporter ahead of time, finding somebody who's reputable, who's done it many times before, is key. And now that you've paid for your car, all your ducks are in a row, it is time to cover exporting the car in our next step.